I will happily participate in releasing any further leaks that they have, because the truth should be out there.
What she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and...
Picture this. Marvel Studios, the titan behind the biggest superhero franchises on Earth, allegedly gearing up to take legal action against one of Hollywood's most beloved actresses. Sounds unreal, right? Yet multiple insiders insist that's exactly what's brewing. Rumors claim Marvel has filed a lawsuit against Blake Lively, the star known for her iconic red carpet looks, razor-sharp social media presence, and seemingly flawless marriage to Ryan Reynolds aka Deadpool himself. And according to whispers, this isn't some standard dispute over contracts or studio politics. It's reportedly a move so serious that it could rattle her career and crack the polished power couple image she shares with Reynolds.
So I really look at I love a challenge though, and I'm just so proud of every bit of it. We went through a whole roller coaster of the human experience, and I'm very...
If this sounds like the wildest Hollywood twist of the year, that's because it just might be. One moment, Blake Lively was quietly collaborating on a new film with director Justin Baldoni, and the next, rumors exploded about leaked messages, sabotage, and even whispers of sensitive intel linked to Marvel's tightly guarded Deadpool files. The question everyone's now asking is simple: how did things spiral so fast? Could the star of The Shallows and A Simple Favor really have landed herself on a collision course with Marvel's unstoppable machine? And if so, what on earth pushed her that far?
Have to fear if she's telling the truth. She wants us to believe this is actionable harassment.
More romantic. Oh my gosh, we don't shut up.
And Emily and I have
The frenzy surrounding Blake Lively has grown too loud to ignore. And if even a slice of the speculation turns out to be true, the fallout could shake the entertainment industry to its core. It wouldn't just tarnish one of Hollywood's most admired power couples, it could send shockwaves through Marvel's billion-dollar Deadpool franchise, where secrecy and creative control are sacred. To untangle how things got here, we have to go back to the beginning. It all started when Lively joined a film project directed by Justin Baldoni, the filmmaker behind emotional hits like 5 Feet Apart. Fans were thrilled. His talent for heartfelt stories paired with her star power seemed like a guaranteed success. But behind the scenes, trouble began to brew. Reports claimed Lively started feeling creatively sidelined. Baldoni wasn't just directing, he was co-writing the script and planning a cameo. Insiders said Blake felt her ideas were being dismissed. She allegedly pushed for more influence over the story, wanting deeper focus on her character and a stronger role in shaping the film. That creative tug-of-war, some say, became the spark that ignited everything that followed.
Him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix.
And it's like, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like, kind of like my outfit.
The tension between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni didn't blow up overnight. It simmered quietly, barely visible until the cracks widened. People on set described subtle but noticeable shifts, clipped exchanges, script delays, and unusually secretive rewrites. Rumors of behind-the-scenes strain intensified when Blake began hinting publicly that Justin was behind unflattering tabloid stories painting her as demanding or difficult. For many, her claim resonated. Hollywood has a history of branding outspoken women as trouble, and her fans quickly rallied around her. But then Justin hit back with receipts. He released what he said were emails and text threads that told the opposite story. According to his evidence, he wasn't planting negative press. Instead, the messages allegedly showed Blake threatening to leverage powerful industry connections if her creative demands weren't met. What started as a quiet creative dispute had suddenly morphed into a public battle of narratives.
The way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious.
Suddenly, the conversation flipped and people started asking a new question. Was Blake Lively really the victim, or was she the one calling the shots? What began as a typical Hollywood clash between star and director spun out of control when a surprising name entered the conversation: Marvel Studios. For a while, the drama looked like just another round of he said she said. Then things escalated. Tabloids started dropping alleged inside scoops about Deadpool's future, rumors of secret cameos, shocking twists, and unexpected crossovers, the kind of intel Marvel guards with near-military secrecy. Fans began speculating. Who was leaking this info? The timing was suspicious. Every time Blake was hit with new negative press stories of rumored meltdowns or conflicts, fresh Deadpool leaks popped up. It felt like a game of ping-pong, bouncing between her controversies and Marvel's biggest blockbuster. Before long, all eyes landed on the most obvious link: Blake herself. Her husband is Deadpool, and if anyone outside Marvel's inner circle had access to whispers about the film, it'd be him and potentially her. That's when the stakes skyrocketed. Marvel is infamous for protecting its secrets: fake scripts, locked tablets, restricted sets. They don't play around. So when top-secret Deadpool details started surfacing at the exact moments Blake's public image was under strain, Marvel didn't see coincidence, they saw sabotage.
Tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh really? Because I just have one on my list. I didn't. I don't have anyone on my list.
And it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like,
Tell me, and he's
think
guessing.
of someone. Bob Newhart. I don't know.
Insiders say Marvel's top executives quietly launched an internal investigation to find out whether someone connected to the Lively Reynolds circle was leaking Deadpool intel at suspiciously convenient times. At first, the idea sounded ridiculous. Why would Blake risk damaging her husband's biggest franchise just to deflect attention from her own drama? But the whispers didn't fade, they escalated. Soon, reports claimed Marvel's legal team had gathered enough circumstantial evidence to sound the alarm. What happened next stunned everyone. Marvel, famous for its ironclad NDAs but almost never for publicly targeting its own stars, allegedly filed formal legal action against Blake. The first clues came in a cryptic Marvel press release about unauthorized leaks tied to a major franchise. No names were mentioned, but speculation exploded that the unnamed figure was Blake Lively. Overnight, the story dominated headlines. If Marvel was willing to take legal aim at someone so close to Ryan Reynolds, the face of Deadpool and one of their most valuable assets, then the situation had to be more serious than anyone imagined. This wasn't about money. It was about protecting the brand. Deadpool had gone from risky experiment to billion-dollar icon, and Marvel relied on carefully timed reveals to drive hype. If those reveals were being used as tools in someone else's media battles, Marvel saw it as a direct attack. Blake's team hit back instantly. They insisted she never had access to scripts or official plans and called the lawsuit baseless scapegoating. Some even argued Marvel was retaliating because of her feud with Justin Baldoni. But skeptics pointed to the leaked messages from that conflict, messages that painted Blake as calculated, strategic, and unafraid to play hardball when cornered.
Time again, she accuses him of doing something, which then when you hear the full context is an absolute nothing.
4 years, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were the definition of Hollywood perfection, the couple who balanced romance with humor, red carpet elegance with down-to-earth charm. Fans adored their playful social media jabs, their polished public appearances, and the illusion of a marriage untouchable by scandal. But the moment whispers emerged that Marvel Studios, the same studio that revived Reynolds' career through Deadpool, was taking legal action not against an outsider, but against Blake herself, the fairytale image fractured. Suddenly, this golden duo was thrust into a storm where personal loyalty clashed with billion-dollar stakes. From Ryan's perspective, the pressure was unimaginable. Marvel isn't just another studio, it's the partner that turned Deadpool from a risky passion project into a global franchise and gave him a career-defining comeback. Yet now, the woman accused of leaking confidential Marvel intel, the kind of secrets that could jeopardize the future of Deadpool, is his wife, the mother of his children, and his closest ally. Where does he place his loyalty? With the empire he helped build, or the family he built it for? At first, Ryan clung to his signature humor online, brushing past the noise. But as stories about Blake and Marvel intensified, he went silent. For a man known for turning awkward situations into punchlines, the sudden lack of jokes was louder than any statement. Some fans believed he was preparing a public defense for Blake. Others feared he'd align with Marvel to protect his career. A third group thought he was simply waiting, praying the storm would pass before he had to choose. Whatever the truth, his silence spoke volumes. This wasn't something he could laugh off. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, the director unintentionally caught in the center of the chaos, was blindsided. What began as his attempt to defend himself from accusations that he'd planted damaging press about Blake spiraled far beyond anything he imagined. To protect his name, he'd released private texts and emails showing he hadn't smeared her. But in doing so, he stumbled into a much bigger narrative. Tabloids started threading his disclosures with rumors of Marvel leaks and Blake's references to power circles. Some wondered, was he secretly passing info to Marvel? Did he tip them off? Baldoni denied everything, insisting he'd only wanted to move forward with his film. Still, the timing made it look like he'd struck the match in a room already soaked in gasoline. In interviews, he tried to soften the damage with humor, joking he'd never send a co-star anything more personal than a birthday text in case it ended up in court one day. But the reality was obvious. A creative disagreement had mutated into a full-scale scandal now entangling one of the most powerful studios in the world. Then came the fans, and the internet erupted into factions. One side rallied behind Blake, calling the backlash a textbook case of Hollywood punishing ambitious women. They pointed to decades of actresses being branded difficult the moment they asserted control or demanded respect. To them, Blake was being scapegoated in a system engineered to protect powerful men. The opposing camp stood firmly with Marvel, arguing the studio would never risk suing someone tied to Ryan Reynolds unless the evidence was serious. Marvel's obsession with secrecy is legendary. Actors get fake scripts, locked devices, and NDAs that feel like CIA contracts. If they believed Deadpool's future was compromised, fans argued, it meant something real was at stake. Entertainment shows and gossip outlets pounced. Could Marvel strip Ryan of his Deadpool crown if they felt betrayed? Was the character inseparable from him, or could someone else don the red suit if push came to shove? Fans clashed online. Some insisted Deadpool was useless without Reynolds. Others reminded everyone that in Hollywood, nobody is irreplaceable. Blake's future was in the spotlight too. She'd built a brand as a glamorous yet relatable star with comedic charm and dramatic range. But if Marvel's allegations stuck, her reputation could collapse overnight. In the film industry, talent is valuable, but discretion is everything. A star suspected of leaking secrets tied to a billion-dollar IP becomes a liability, no matter how beloved. Legal analysts chimed in, breaking down the worst-case scenario. If Marvel pressed forward, discovery could get brutal. Subpoenaed texts, phone logs, private emails, all potentially made public. For a couple as visible as Ryan and Blake, that wasn't a scandal, it was a nightmare. Some insiders speculated Blake might try to negotiate a quiet settlement to avoid a courtroom circus. Hollywood thrives on silent deals sealed with NDAs. Maybe she'd pay a fine, sign something ironclad about confidentiality, and move on while Marvel claimed victory without theatrics. But others believed Marvel wouldn't let it end quietly. To them, this wasn't about Blake alone, it was a warning shot to the